So Nike, where can we expect this stock to head within the next year? Yes, I pronounce it Nike. I am English. Sorry for the American viewers. In this video, I will be taking a look at the financials, putting it into my system to help us see whether or not this is a bullish or bearish stock. Before we get into this video, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. If you could leave a like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. So currently year to date, Nike is down 27.45%, with a massive drop being in July. They have a price to earnings ratio of 22.57 and an earnings per share of 3.49, and they pay a dividend yield of 2.03% currently. So Nike is massively down at the moment, so is this a good time to buy? Investors such as Bill Ackman have recently bought into this stock, which proves that there might be some potential growth within the next few months. There is a definite long-term potential for this stock, but we will find out more in a bit later in this video when we take it into my system. So Nike had a massive boom in the pandemic with a lot of sales coming through, pushing through their revenue. However, since then we have seen a decline in their revenue. Before we get into revenue, let's take a look at a liquidity ratio for Nike, so we can see a cash to debt ratio positive, which is really nice. Ideally, you want to see this above 1, as it means that they have $1 of cash to pay back $1 of debt, as in the world of business, cash is king. So this is very, very positive for Nike, and this shows no potential of slowing down at all. It just seems to be increasing, or at least very consistent. Now let's move on to the retention. So here we can see that revenue is definitely starting to slow down. However, it's still not a concern in my opinion, as we're still around the 10% mark, which is where you want a company of this scale to be. Looking at the trend lines, it is actually expecting it to still decrease over the next few quarters. So what exactly is happening here with Nike? Is it just catching back up to its pre-pandemic market cap, or is there potentially something else happening to this company? Let me know what you think in the comments. Personally, I just think it's taking a bit of a fall at the moment due to a lack of custom, which could be due to factors such as competitors or the pandemic, in which is no longer a thing, hiking their custom base essentially. So now let's take a look at the free cash flow. So free cash flow can be used for stock buybacks, paying out dividends, in which they do pay out a dividend of, or even paying down debt. So here we can see the difference between the operating and free cash flow. This is set to increase, and it is quite a volatile free cash flow statement for Nike over the last 5 quarters. However, it doesn't seem to be that negative. The trend lines are predicting it to decrease, in other words, get worse. However, I don't think it will. But if it does, I don't think it will go as drastic as the trend lines are predicting. So looking at a price to volume chart, we can see a 365 exponential trend line. So the price is consistently decreasing. However, the volume does seem to be taking a bit of a rise recently. There's not much to go off of this, to be honest. It is what it is really. It's not great news for the company, as it is really matching up with the decline in the trend, which shows that it's not just an unlucky event. This is actually a trend within the price. So that will be interesting to keep an eye on. Now let's move over to a 91-day chart. So here we can look at a more up-to-date recent version, and it's the exact same story. It's matching the trend line perfectly, so this is not ideal for Nike. So taking a look at some of the financial figures for this company, we can see a PE ratio of 22.59, which I mentioned earlier, a 52-week high of $123 and a low of 70, that being a difference of 52, and we are not too far off of the low at the moment, being at 78. Furthermore, we can see a beta of 1.02. That means that this stock will be more volatile than the Nasdaq on basically a 0.2 percentage difference. And on a volume chart, we can see that we are currently below the average. So what can we take away from all of this? Basically, it's not screwed. The company is definitely not going to go bankrupt anytime soon. In fact, it's still looking very positive. However, I do feel as if it is just catching back up to itself after the recent hike during the pandemic. So it is not a bad thing at all, very long term. However, short term, let's find out. Very quickly, just want to show you the food for today. So we have some shrimp pasta. So moving back on to short term. So looking at the Sharp and Sortino ratio for Nike, it is minus 12.75, and the Omega ratio is 0.3. So both of these are showing no return to risk potential within the next few weeks. So short term, it is not an ideal stock. So now let's see what the experts think. So they expect a lot of volatility in the next couple of months, expecting it to potentially get back up to $100 or fall down to 60. On a buy, hold, sell scale, they are saying a relatively mid buy. They are projecting that this will start to take an increase again. This is based off of 34 analysts, which I must say I do agree with. However, I do see Q4 being a weak month based off of our model, but I do think in the next year this will start to pick up again. So quickly looking at Google Trends for Nike, this is an important metric as Nike does have an online service, so it will correlate. There is a pattern emerging through the interest over the past 5 years. With us being at the peak of one of these patterns right now, could this correlate into their market? However, will this mean in a higher custom? I guess we will see that in Q4 when the earning report comes out. That'll be very interesting to see if this does have some sort of correlation that will affect the price. With the region of interest being Slovakia, Netherlands, Greece, Romania and the United Kingdom. So that is it for Nike. I rate Nike a short term of an E and a long term of a C. I think in the very long run it is going to bounce back easily. However, that is very long run. Short term, I'm not entirely sure. I do see a lot of volatility, as so do the analysts, and I don't see the risk to reward being that high. But let me know if I've missed anything, and if you disagree, which I'm sure a lot of you will, as it is YouTube and everyone disagrees. Please do leave a comment on your thoughts. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. You should always do your own research before buying into a stock. With that being said, I'll see you for the next video.